brought up some very simple scientific experiments for you kids to do at home. I'll be doing 3 experiments over here, and the materials I have arranged from my home. You can even pick any other you can say equipment, whichever you can find at home, and do the experiment for yourself. In this particular video, I'll be explaining the scientific phenomena or the concept behind it, and I want you to give it a deeper thought after watching this particular video. So one experiment I have made for the junior kids, and 2 experiments which can be incorporated for classes 8 to 10. Now to start with, I'm dealing with this junior level scientific experiment. The material used are a simple PET bottle which I have cut out at both the ends, and I could find this rubber glove, latex glove at my home. So I'll be using this glove. I have just capped it on the bottle, on the open end of the bottle. So one end is open and one is covered with the glove. Let's start our experiment. In order to start our experiment, I have this jar full of water, and the surface of this water will act as a hydraulic piston, and you can see there is nothing inside this particular PET bottle, right? But let's find out more. What I'll do is simply just put this PET bottle case into this jar and let's see what happens. As you can see, the glove is just capped over this particular PET bottle. So let's start. As you can see, what is happening here is that the glove is getting deflated and inflated as I am going into the water. Now students, I want you to think about it. Why did this happen? This is happening because this surface of water is acting like a piston, as in a syringe. You must have seen a syringe or an injection. So that we have the rubber dot in that syringe. So the same function is being done by the surface of this water, and that surface is pushing the air inside into the glove. So as water is pushing the air above, the air is entering from the bottle into the glove. So as you can see, it is giving a nice hello touch to our experiment. So was it fun? Yes. So let's start our second experiment, which is called the unsinkable ship. Now this particular experiment was quite simple, and for the next experiment I just have this the jar of water. I have an empty glass and I have made this cute little paper boat. So let's see if we can sink this boat. You must have all made paper boats during the rainy season. I don't know if children are doing it nowadays, but yes, in my childhood I used to make that. And what we'll do is we'll try to sink this boat into the water with the help of this glass. So let's start with our experiment. So what I'll do is I'll place this boat into this jar of water, and I'll try to cover it up with this glass, and I'll try to sink it. So let's see if it sinks or not. So I'm pushing this empty glass all the way down, and the boat has also gone down into the water. But voila, the boat has not sunk. Let's try. And let's try once again. Again, the boat is not sunk. Now what happened was that this boat was displacing some water. So Archimedes principle is into play in this particular action when we place this boat into the water. And as I told you, this glass is not really empty. It had some air inside. So when I'm inverting my glass and putting on the top of this jar in the water in this jar, so what is happening is it is pushing the boat down also. So there is air above this boat and making the ship unsinkable in the water. So water from beneath is pushing the boat upwards by the buoyancy force, and the air on top of it is allowing the water to be pushed downwards. So both of these forces are balancing themselves, and that is how we are getting our unsinkable ship. It was quite interesting for you people, and give me your comments in the section below and let me know more about it. Let's proceed to our third and very interesting experiment, that is with a candle and this glass jar. Now for our third experiment, this experiment is quite simple. I have made a homemade candle, and I have a cylinder with me, a glass cylinder, and I have put some food coloring into my glass jar. And what I'll be doing is I'll be lighting the candle and placing it in the water. Then I'll be covering this candle with this particular glass cylinder, or you can have any glass that you have in your glass tumbler you have at your home. You can also cover it with that. And what will happen is that when I burn this candle and cover it with some glass or some container, the air inside will start to get hot, it will expand, and then what will happen is the air, when it expands, it needs more space, so it will bubble outside into the water, which creates some vacuum. So the atmospheric pressure outside will be more, and it will create a partial or a small vacuum inside the cylinder, which will suck the water into the cylinder from this particular jar. I think all of you have got this particular concept, so let's try and find it out. Let's begin our experiment. So I light our candle right now. Just make sure that you are doing it under parental supervision if you are less than 10 years old. Now our candle is lit. What I'll do is I'll try to cover up with this particular cylinder, and as you can see, the candle has gone off. Some bubbles were coming out from the surface of the cylinder, and our water has gone from our jar into the cylinder. As you can see, the smoke is there in the cylinder. So what actually happened was, when the flame of the candle entered into the cylinder, the air inside the cylinder became hot and it expanded. And when the oxygen in this particular cylinder was consumed, the flame went off. The flame was off, and when the air inside started to cool down, it created a partial vacuum. When the temperature got normal, it created a partial vacuum due to the lack of oxygen and due to the expelling of air from the sides of this jar. So the result, our result is that now the water level which was at par with the jar, it had risen into the cylinder, and it is quite to a great extent. So you see, this was a very simple experiment, and you can try it at home as well. So now let's find out the scientific principle behind it. So over here we have the principle of water surface tension that the water possesses. Due to the surface tension, the candle is floating, or it has a buoyancy force. And then there is the principle of vacuum as well. The pressure, the change in pressure, the atmospheric pressure is acting upon this surface of water, and when the candle is placed on the surface of the water, it is floating over there because it is less dense than the water. And when I am placing the cylinder on top of it, the air inside is getting out because of expansion, and then you have the principle of heating, because all things heat, they expand when they are heated. So air also expands and it escapes through this particular point. And when it expands, at the same point of time, the oxygen inside the cylinder is also consumed, and when it is consumed, there is only carbon dioxide left in this particular cylinder, and because it is sealed, because by the surface of the water, there is no inside or outside entry points or exit points for the air, and therefore the carbon dioxide puts out the flame, it extinguishes the flame, and the resultant is a extinguished candle. Now that extinguished candle results in a drastic fall in the temperature inside the cylinder, and due to that fall, again the water is pushed into this particular jar. This was quite a simple experiment that you can perform at home as well. I want you to find out more applications of this particular experiment in your day-to-day life, and also in scientific sphere. Right? So these are some of the experiments. I'll be coming with more experiments like these which you can perform at home, and you can show it to your parents, and put out some videos also on our school social platforms, on WhatsApp or on Facebook, to let us know how you are doing. So this will keep you occupied, inquisitive, and ready for the future. Happy learning, all of you.